Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Scorpio January 2019 horoscope forecast. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing up is as far as January goes, the sun will be in Capricorn from the 1st until the 21st. So the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, there could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention on communications, short journeys, siblings, cousins, neighbors, people from your early education, perhaps, maybe even things you learn from that, and also assimilating information. It could just be your general communications. Now, given this is Capricorn energy, this may be done with Capricorn-like consistency, rigidity, and transigence, very serious manner, with a lot of prudence, a lot of caution. If you're taking any short journeys or making any plans for that, your communications, a lot of them may very well may have a strong focus on being planned and premeditated. And a lot of focus on a lot of methodical, consistent communications. Also, these third house matters may be done very orthodox, conventional, methodical, very disciplined, but just guard against becoming overly pessimistic and really focusing on the negative and things connected with your short journeys, your cousins, neighbors, and being overly pessimistic. And also, this could be very melancholy and despondent energy as well as far as third house matters go. So just guard against that at this time. So anyway, next thing up. The sun will be in Aquarius as far as January goes from the 21st until the 31st. So the fourth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. There could be a strong attention, focus, power of concentration on the home life, the family, people you may be close to home with, traditions, roots, ancestry, emotional security, the less dominant parent, which is often the mother, the end of life period, the latter part of life, who you are at the core. And this may be done, a lot of these matters may be done with a lot of Aquarius very selflessness, a lot of consideration, humanitarianism, very unconventional, but yet could be very unorthodox as well. It could be doing things perhaps in the home life that you might feel are a little bit unconventional or unorthodox, or maybe people in your home and family life. You might be focusing on them as well, and they may be seemingly acting that way. It could be, or even maybe if you're doing anything that could be home related. Now also, this could be a lot of unpredictable energy in fourth house matters, very erratic but very innovative and ingenious perhaps as well. It could also be done with a lot of friendliness, a lot of amicable energy, and very future oriented. So if you're making any plans for you're looking at the latter part of that end of life period, this is very future oriented. This could be this could be very positive, because you could be looking ahead and being very progressive and going and really forward moving as far as that goes. So anyway, well, the next thing up, there will be a new moon solar eclipse in Capricorn on January 5th. So the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, a new moon, really a solar eclipse is like a new moon, but can be very amplified and intensified, more sustained, more prodigious, could be more life-altering, and very powerful, and more powerful than a new moon. Now, given this is in Capricorn, we're talking about third house energy. In some cases, this may be a new Capricorn sibling. It could be a cousin, a new Capricorn cousin or neighbor. This could be really, and it could be somebody that could have a very life-altering, sustained effect And really, this could be something too where you might make a decision perhaps to be more consistent and responsible in your communications, perhaps, and start to be more, really be more responsible as far as that goes, and take them more seriously than usual, and even perhaps matters with siblings, with cousins, with neighbors at this time. And it could be also you may rekindle perhaps a Capricorn connection from your early education. This could be perhaps a Capricorn sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply one that embodies Capricorn-like characteristics. Now, when you're talking about this as well, when you're talking about eclipses, this could be a time where people can become more cognizant of things. This could be about perhaps being more cognizant of having that mind for maybe business, something with the government, politics, dentistry, even anything that could be Capricorn related, maybe even information technology, computer programming, accounting, something that could have a very life-altering effect if you were somebody, say, that was kind of really not really doing a whole lot. You were in kind of stagnation and you really weren't really doing much with yourself in your life. This could be that time, or maybe you can feel you have your mind set maybe for something Capricorn related that could be very life altering and take you in that direction perhaps. Now, also about this could be a time where you might be taking responsibility for your own transportation, especially if you were more dependent on somebody else. Now, when you're talking about eclipses, they can often be about departures. Now, this could be perhaps this may manifest perhaps in somebody that may have been limiting or restricting your communications at this time, and maybe for a protracted period may leave, or maybe causing a lot of pessimism in thought and making you feel very melancholy or despondent, might leave at this time. And maybe this could be something that could actually lead to something positive for you to start in a new beginning perhaps. So anyway, next thing up, there will be a full moon lunar eclipse in Leo on January 21st, so the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, first off, again, a lunar eclipse is like a regular full moon, except it could be more amplified and intensified, and its impact much more powerful, more prodigious, perhaps in effect, and really it could be something more sustained and even life-altering at this time as well. And often significant things could happen in someone's life that might take somebody maybe in a new direction. Now, at this time, this could be about the completion or culmination of perhaps a Leo career at this time. I mean, it could be something with acting, entertainment, creativity, children, sports even, something that was gaining you some kind of notoriety or attention and exposure. Perhaps it could be cardiology, anything that could be Leo related. And this is something where this could be about a strong unveiling or revelation, perhaps where really at this time and really becoming more cognizant of being more gregarious, maybe an unveiling to you that perhaps being more gregarious and extroverted, it could really play a key role in your public image and your reputation, and might even lead you to greater perhaps career success, attaining some position of authority and getting a greater stature in life. Of course, that could be very life altering. And also it could be where a Leo emerges. It could be a Leo sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply one that embodies Leo-like characteristics, might emerge to benefit you in terms of your recognition, your notoriety, your stature in life, and maybe and also too, again, I'm talking about eclipses. They can be about in times where it could represent or reflect a departure of maybe somebody in your life. It could be somebody that might have been a Leo sun, moon, or ascendant, or one that embodies Leo-like characteristics that may have been prominent and played an integral role in your success, or some position of authority might depart at this time. This is something too, again, going back to that unveiling and revelation I was talking about, that at this time being more perhaps you're more extroverted, more gregarious, and really you could really play more of a role perhaps than you might think in terms of doing something and moving ahead in your career, and also showing generosity and being more magnanimous could really help in terms of how you're seen in terms of your reputation, your public image at this time, and it might lead to some greater things, perhaps because this is an eclipse as opposed to a regular full moon. So this could really have a really powerful impact on you, perhaps. So anyway, hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back now. Anyway, well, Mercury will be in Sagittarius as far as January goes, from the 1st until the 5th. So the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, your mind may be dominated by making money at this time, and also thinking about doing so very enthusiastically and exuberantly. Now, Sagittarius siblings, they may be, again, Mercury can be more than just about communications. It could be about siblings as well. It could be that Sagittarius siblings, they could be Sagittarius sun, moon, or ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Sagittarius-like characteristics, might figure very prominently in your values, your self-worth, your self-esteem, perhaps even generating income. At this time, you could find yourself talking about sports, religion, philosophy, foreigners, and really something that you truly value at this time. And really, it could also manifest perhaps in philosophical discussions with people that you may make money with, and also even about generating income and increasing it, perhaps. Now, also, too, could it be where if you're somebody that's dexterous and does work on cars, this could be a time where you might be making some money on maybe you with your dexterity in terms of sports cars. I mean, it could be a possibility at this time because Sagittarius can be connected with sports. Now, anyway, next thing up. Mercury will be in Capricorn as far as January goes, from the 5th until the 24th. So the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, I would guard against becoming too overly despondent and melancholy over matters with neighbors, with your communications, and your cousins, sibling short journeys at this time, or maybe in terms of your thought process. This could be also, too, that Capricorn siblings, they could be Capricorn sun, moon, or ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Capricorn-like characteristics, might factor in strongly and prominently in your communications, your short journeys. It could be errands. It could be just really about perhaps even with transportation as well. And your neighbors. Now, also, too, you might find yourself talking and communicating consistently about things that maybe you learned in your early education. It could also be conversations about business, politics, dentistry, computer programming, accounting, things that could be about conversations about ambitions with third house people such as siblings, cousins, neighbors, people that are prominent in your short journeys. And also you might be talking consistently about manifold subjects at this time, and talking very methodically about them, because remember, we're talking about the house of Gemini. So anyway, next thing up. Well, Mercury will be in Aquarius as far as January goes, from the 24th until the 31st. So the fourth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, you might find yourself talking and thinking very futuristically, perhaps about that latter part, that end part of life, perhaps making the preparations maybe for that part, and thinking about where you want to be at that time as far as your future goes. Now, it could also be where you find yourself communicating perhaps about where you think you are, or maybe thinking about who you are at the core, and thinking maybe you are really rather ingenious, innovative, or eccentric at the core. You might be thinking that anyway. And also it could be about having conversations and communications about innovation, astrology, other Aquarius matters, and also just talking about, you could be talking about new ideas and concepts with the family, people problem in your home life, someone you're close to home with, and also talking to these people about innovation, ingenuity, astronomy, astrology, esoteric subjects, the future, aerospace. And also, too, this could be about really, at this time, again, I mean, Mercury can be more than just about communications. They could be about siblings as well. This could be about Aquarius siblings. They could be Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Aquarius-like characteristics might figure prominently in your emotional security. They could be home-related matters, your traditions, and perhaps helping you get in touch with your roots and your ancestry at this time as well. Anyway, next thing up is Venus will be in Scorpio as far as January goes, from the 1st until the 7th. So at this time, the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now at this time, you might be focused perhaps on being more attractive, looking more sexy, sultry, and provocative than usual. Could be wearing provocative clothing. This could be about also perhaps coming into more money through something Scorpio related, such as something connected with the occult, astrology, supernatural, locksmithing, embalming, investigation, any psychology, anything that could be Scorpio related. And also at this time, this may manifest perhaps as valuing going beyond subterfuge, superficiality, and this may be seen readily by others on a first impression. And also, too, at this time as well, guard against perhaps overindulgence of sweet, dark foods at this time as well. This could be, too, where Scorpio relationships may figure prominently more so than usual in your outlook on life and new beginnings. And they could be Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Scorpio-like characteristics. And also could be about valuing very deep, non-superficial connection with someone from your early childhood and expressing enjoyment of Scorpio-like things very outwardly and blatantly. And you might find yourself valuing and enjoying Scorpio like new beginnings at this time, such as something again connected perhaps with astrology, occult, supernatural, locksmithing, psychology, some kind of investigation, working as a coroner or embalming, something that could be Scorpio related. Next thing up, Venus will be in Sagittarius as far as January goes, from the 7th until the 31st, so the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, you might find yourself perhaps valuing outdoor activities, sports, athletics, and it might really help impact your self-esteem and self-worth at this time. Now, you might find yourself generating income, perhaps doing something Sagittarius related. Since we're talking about Venus and the second house, this could be a very good monetary period. It could be doing something sports related, something with the law, with philosophy, with religion, with translation or advertising, something that could be Sagittarius related, something with the outdoors. You might find at this time that Sagittarius relationships, they could be Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Sagittarius-like characteristics, might factor in strongly with your possessions, your resources, your self-worth at this time. Also, too, at this time as well, it could be about a Sagittarius love may be found at the place where you're generating income. If you are unattached Scorpio, they may be, it could be somebody, it could be a Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or one that embodies Sagittarius-like characteristics. And also, too, about really at this time, this could be about enjoyment of Sagittarius things at that place where you make money. I mean, if you don't, maybe, or with people that you may make generate income with. It could be something with archery or sports or target practice. It could be something with the outdoors, perhaps. And also too, and also enjoyment of thinking outside the box at this time, and it might lead to really doing things that impact maybe how you feel about yourself as well maybe accomplishing things that maybe you didn't think you can do before, and feeling better how you feel about yourself with your self-esteem and self-worth. Anyway, the next thing up is Mars will be in Aries at this time. So the sixth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, the situation may be a little bit more, with aunts, an aunt or uncle, people in your place of employment, your daily routine. The situation may be more contentious and acrimonious than usual. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. Anyway, and also too, this might be about perhaps a very impulsive, assertive, aggressive energy in your daily routine, work-related matters, and servicing others. This is when you're talking about Mars and Aries. This could be energy that could be about very easy provocation, but really quick to forgive and forget, and where that anger is not sustained. So this energy might go into maybe with maybe a situation with an aunt or an uncle, someone at your place of work or employment. It could be somebody prominent in your health life if you're working out with somebody. Perhaps you might find yourself getting easily angry at these people, but where it's not sustained. Also too, guard, at this time as well, this could manifest perhaps in rather quick, kind of abrupt headaches you might be getting at this time. You might find work to be a headache at this time as well. Also, guarding, this could be a time where you might sustain some kind of work-related injury to the head or to the face. Guard against accidents, perhaps due to very quick, abrupt, impulsive movements at this time. And it could also be, at this time, looking at this, where you really could find yourself where your energy could be very high, of course, in terms of when you're working out. If you're working out vigorously, if you're somebody that does that, or you're doing something work-related. And just remember not to overdo it, of course, because Mars, you're talking about Mars and Aries especially, could be very energetic. And this is really, and this could be where you don't want to succumb to some kind of overexertion. If this is making actual inconjunct to your actual ascendant, I would really be careful as far as that goes. So anyway, the next thing up, Jupiter will be in Sagittarius still. So the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, you might find yourself at this time it could be very fortuitous period for money. It could, at the same time, as I've talked about in previous videos, that Jupiter could be rather paradoxical. It's very strongly benign and benevolent, but it could also have a tendency to enlarge and expand. And this could, in some cases, perhaps expand or enlarge rather self-righteous, over optimism, recklessness, and even foolhardy behavior, perhaps with people that you might generate income with. It might be your attitude toward making money. It could be doing something it could be doing something where you might be really for yourself, that might be trying to increase how you feel about yourself, perhaps your self-esteem or self-worth. If you're trying to do something, say, sports related, and you're trying to get yourself built up and trying to, if you're working out vigorously, it could be, an example could be, just maybe lifting too much weight, which could be foolhardy, and really, and it really could be, and you might be trying to do so to really, again, for self-esteem reasons, but you might wind up, it could be cases where you might feel some repercussions, because this could be very over-optimistic and foolhardy energy, so just be careful at this time. Also, too, on the positive end, this could be very fortuitous for making money through something Sagittarius related. It could be something connected with the law, or philosophy, or religion, sports, the outdoors, publishing even, and also it could just be a general fortuitous period for publishing in order to generate income at this time. And also could be about expanding Sagittarius-like possessions, such as something that could be sports or outdoor related matter, something with the law. Perhaps it could be translation type devices, things that could be Sagittarius related at this time. And this could be a very good period and very positive and beneficial for possessions, for resources, and really and it's really about Jupiterian type things that you may strongly value at this point in time as well. Anyway, next thing up. Saturn will be in Capricorn still, so the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, you might find yourself dealing with some kind of restrictions and limitations with your communications. It could be with siblings, with neighbors, with cousins at this time. You might find yourself also dealing with, it could be where you might be taking care of a debilitated or sickly neighbor, a cousin at this time. It could be a sibling. It could be something Capricorn related, such as something connected with the knees, the bones, or the joints. It might be making you feel somewhat despondent or melancholy. At this time as well, this could also be about transportation issues. It could be something where something mechanical might be causing some, mechanical defaults or failures, might be causing some problems with your transportation, such as something with your vehicle. You could also, and really it's about, could be about mobility issues as well at this time. Remember, the third house can be about mobility, and it could be connected with something something Saturn Capricorn related, again, something connected perhaps with the knees, the bones, or the joints that could be causing some difficulties at this time for your mobility. Now also this could manifest in a lot of serious responsibility at this time to communications, to your transportation. And at this time too, you might find that you might feel like there's some kind of government restriction that might be maybe restricting you or limiting you, inhibiting your communications to some degree. If you're trying to say you're trying to put something on YouTube or something, and you feel like there's some kind of provision at this time that might be making you that might be preventing you from doing so. Anyway, next thing up. Uranus will be in Aries still, so the sixth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, one way this may manifest, this could be about where your daily routine may be somewhat erratic and sporadic and dealing with a lot of fluctuations. And also this may manifest too in very unpredictable, acrimonious situations that people prominent in your work life, your employment, your daily routine, somebody in your health life, if somebody you might work out at some fitness club with. Also, Aries friendships might figure more strongly in your daily routine, your health life. Perhaps it could be they might be involved in some kind of service you may render, and also an aunt or an uncle might be showing some unpredictability at this time. Also, to guard again, there could be greater propensity for perhaps getting some kind of shock or doing something where something with a nerve damage. It could mean you could get, because with me, I have Uranus almost exactly conjunct my sixth house cusp, and I have extensive irrevocable nerve damage. It might be a time where you have to be careful about perhaps doing something that might cause some kind of nerve damage at this time as well. So be careful if you're someone that works out regularly, you have some regimented workout situation going, or doing some kind of heavy, strenuous, repetitive lifting, be extra careful at this time and if there's any precautions you could take, I would make sure you're taking them at this time. It could also be about an enigmatic health illness or situation at this time that could take place. And again, the nerve damage, of course, because Uranus can be connected with the nerves. So anyway, next thing up. Neptune will be in Pisces still, so the fifth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, this may manifest in dealing with a lot of deception and duplicity from children, from lovers, from people that you may be prominent in your fun, your amusement, and your enjoyment. Be careful not to delude yourself in terms of anything of a speculative nature. Neptune sometimes makes it difficult to see that fine print in things, and this could be over matters with investments, things of a speculative nature at this time. And also, too, this could manifest perhaps in doing something Neptune like. That could be something something that's fun, that's something of an amusement, something that's your enjoyment. It could be something like chemistry, photography, the metaphysical, which could include astrology, something spiritual, poetry, dancing, something that could be Neptune related at this time. And at this time, too, children, lovers, they may seem somewhat nebulous and unclear at this time. And also, this could be about the dissolving or dissipation, sadly, in some cases, of your personal popularity. But it could also perhaps manifest in really being maybe idealism in terms of your personal popularity as well. A lot of this may depend, of course, on the aspects this is making to points in your natal chart. If this is making a positive aspect to Jupiter, it could be more about idealism in terms of your popularity. It could be really perhaps fortuitous for attaining those ideals and that, but at the same time, let's say if it's making an adverse aspect to Jupiter, it might be somewhat unlucky in that, and it could be about some dissolving or dissipation in that popularity as far as that goes, or even to Saturn, I would say. Now, anyway, last but not least, hold on a moment, people. Anyway, last but not least, Pluto will be in Capricorn still, so the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, at this time, I know a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded D word, but you know I'm going to anyway. This may manifest in the actual literal death of a sibling, a cousin, a neighbor. It might be someone that's prominent in your short journeys, or someone that you knew well in your early education. This could also be about power struggles with siblings, with cousins, with neighbors. Avoid being overly obsessive or compulsive thinking at this time. There might be some transformation in your voice at this time. A voice transformer wouldn't be completely out of the realm of possibility. In some cases, this could be about a stalker in your neighborhood that you might be dealing with. And also, to avoid manipulative thinking at this time, as Pluto can be about that. But you may also find yourself communicating perhaps about Pluto, like things at this time, such as the astrology, occult, supernatural, the macabre, things connected maybe with some kind of mystery, or even matters connected with death at this time. And your mind may be more really inquisitive and wondering about matters that are associated with death at this time, more so than usual. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Scorpio January 2019 horoscope forecast. Stay tuned next time, where I will be giving you my take on the upcoming December 22nd, 2018 full moon in Cancer. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person astrologically speaking based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.